Hello and welcome to the APTA's Grand Prix Series, the Dwayne Hayden Long Island Invitational, sponsored by the APTA national sponsors Viking, Fusion, Upswing Health, and My Paddle, and local sponsors D'Addario, Signature Premier Properties, Cherry Lane Printing and Mailing, and Shoreline Beverages. We are live from the Huntington Country Club on the APTA network, presented by ProFlight Live. I'm Jerry Viant, along with Brad Easterbrook, bringing you the men's semifinal between Sven Borish and Mick Adora, and the number 2 seeds, John Hughes and Mark Powers. And Brad, we're thrilled to be able to showcase this Grand Prix series. The APTA has pivoted in response to the COVID, and we have been working with all the state and club regulations to keep everybody safe. Obviously, the paddle huts is off limits, and social distancing and mask, and everybody is safe. So we're just happy to be able to be live streaming. We are remotely, but our ProFlight team is there with the cameras. And the APTA has added 3 tournaments to the schedule this year, so that we can have 4 tournaments in the Midwest and 4 tournaments on the East Coast to give all the players a chance to qualify for, hopefully, the Nationals in Boston. So you can see our next stop will be the Midwesterns in January. And this tournament that we have today, it's a 16-team draw. They're playing the whole tournament in one day. And Brad, let's introduce the players that we're going to see in this match.
Sounds good, Jerry. We look forward to a great match out here, and we'll start at the top of our screen. And so the top left of the screen, left-handed player is Mick Erdoya, and his partner with the black vest on the top right of the screen is Sven Burish. And Mick Erdoya is the director of racket sports at Montclair Golf Club, and Sven Burish is the director of racket sports over at Essex Fells Country Club. Both clubs are in New Jersey, and they're both teaching pros and professionals. And on the bottom of our screen, on the bottom right, another left-handed player in the all-black outfit is John Hughes. And his partner on the bottom left of the screen is Mark Powers in the blue long-sleeve T-shirt and blue cap. So look forward to a great match here. You know, these guys have played a couple of times before, Jerry, and the last 2 matches both went down to third set, like barn burner breaker type matches. One was unbelievable. In fact, Powers and Hughes were up like 6-1, 5-love, and somehow or another, a couple of strange things happens, and Burish and Erdoya just crept their way back into that match, took that second set and took it all the way to 7-6 in the third. So these guys have had just battles in the last.
That was last year, right? We had the Short Hills Invitational, and then again they played in Boston. So let's just take a look at the draw and see the path that these guys have come through. So you see Hughes and Powers up at the top there.
Yeah, a couple of good results, straight through for them. Nice 6-4, 6-4 against a good team in Humphreys and Lefevre. Fever. And Burish Erdoya, great job as well. 2 straight set matches, taking out Lepever and Protsenko, who looked very good in their round of 16 match this morning. So good job by them.
And playing on the next court, we have the other men's semifinal, Bostrom Broderick, Durant Mitchell. So we will keep you updated there when their match gets started as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. Brad, talk a little bit about the lefty-righty combination, which both teams have.
Yeah, it's a terrific look for both teams. We'll probably see from Hughes and Powers, back when they started having a lot of their success, John Hughes started taking a lot of those overheads in the middle, hit heavy cuts into the deuce corner. Now, what's interesting, and you'd have Mark Powers on the net looking for drop volleys and attacking volleys. And what's interesting about that today is they'll be coming into Mick Erdoya towards his side. And Mick Erdoya's forehand it's one of the lockdown forehands in the game. I think it's one of the top 5 forehands in the game. You just cannot hit it there unless you're hitting a very strong shot. Now, Hughes does have a very good overhead to that screen, but that's definitely one of the things we'll be looking for. in this match. So both players have the ability with the lefty overheads to attack both sides of the screen and to be able to affect change in many ways on the court. So there's a lot of options for both teams. I've played with lefties for many years, and it's always a pleasure because it gives you
So
the.
you gotta keep it away from Adora's forehand. You got to keep it away from Power's forehand. So it's really going to be find the forehands of Borish
And Hughes,
and
yeah.
Hughes, right?
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Borish has a very good backhand, and Hughes has a very good forehand. But what people have started to discover is if they hit it slower to take the pace out of it, turn the match a little less athletic to a less of an athletic contest, that he doesn't generate that quick, fast release to hit that ball hard off the softball. Now, he's been working on that because he knows that's a strategy that teams are going to employ. And that's going to be one of the things we'll be looking for in this match.
And because John Hughes likes to play fast. He like you said, he's a very athletic player. He likes to, climb up on the side screen, and he's very dynamic, and he's chasing a lot of balls. So when you handcuff him and take away that athleticism, that's when he has to work a little bit harder. But he also likes to play, fast at net as well, like you said, with the overhead. So the speed of play is going to be key.
Yeah, and one of Powers and Hughes' strengths is they made their way up there. In fact, Long Island a few years ago in 2018, Jerry, we were talking about this off air, is where Powers and Hughes really started their run to the 2018 championships.
That was the beginning. They did not lose a match from this tournament on. They went on to the Midwest, and they also won Boston. That was the first year they won their nationals. They were unbelievable, and it was this tournament. You could see the look in their eye from that semifinal match. They had lost to Araya and Morneau a bunch of times leading up to that, and that was their breakthrough. And then they beat Broderick and Palmer, the final.
Yeah, and so they're looking forward to having a good breakout. And quite frankly, their first two tournaments of the year, they were both seeded, I think, one in both of them, or maybe one or two, but they haven't advanced to a final yet. So they'll be looking to start another breakout here and kind of get that season going for them.
They should dial into those feelings of 2 years ago.
And I think they certainly will try for sure. I know they're coming in with a little more confidence and a lot more practice under their belt. Another thing that'll be interesting to look at here is, Sven Borish owns one of the better serves to the ad court in the game. Probably one of the best. He's a tall guy. He can hammer it in there hard. And Mark Powers has one of the best forehand returns in the game. And we'll see if, Borish can actually effectively neutralize Powers' return, which should be a benefit for them. So looking forward to a great match.
Yeah, his serve has got a big kick. Borish.
I got it.
It's got
it looks like Lisa Rudloff is going to be our scorer. She's off to the side there, so we don't have umpires due, to the COVID, but she's outside the court, and she will be calling the score for us. And of course, Lisa is the director of racket sports here at the Huntington Country Club. She's been here for 11 years, and she's also the chair of the APTA Rules Committee. And her playing career is stellar. She was a national champion finalist in 2011 and 2012. And looks like the match is about to start.
All right, that's Mark Powers to start us off.
Oh!
And right away, we talked about
the forehand of Adora.
Yeah, the Erdoya forehand is just a bullet, and he just blisters ones right in there, and then he just fools Hughes. So great start there for Erdoya.
We could ask that on the highlight reel.
I mean, that was right off the bat. That was like a cannonball off of the Erdoya forehand. Oh, what hands there from Hughes on the blitz. Now you can see the positioning of Erdoya, just brazen way up in there, baiting them, taking balls out of the air, lob volleying. That's quickening the pace of play.
That's Powers at net in the blue, taking most of these overheads right now. And John Hughes to the right. Yeah,
it's interesting because Hughes and Powers, they they can do it either way. They can have Hughes take the overheads or Powers. If they want to play more to Burish, they'll probably end up having Powers do the work, you know, most of the work on the overheads.
Got the nick
Left
there.
30.
All right, good points start for Erdoyan Burish. Love 30.
You can just hear that heavy forehand of Adora.
You know, we were talking before, Jerry, just about finding the, you know, the burst forehand more so, but you got to be careful because it's not too far off is the Erdoya forehand in the middle there. So you really have to spot it well.
You have to isolate and identify and then be able to isolate those. There's probably 3 boards that you have to hit.
Correct.
To make sure that Sven hits the ball that you want him to hit, Borish.
And in a match, there you go. Great get from Erdoya. Burish is so long, he just reaches out.
You see they're not in any rush to switch back sides. Dora's on the ad side. He's the player in the blue.
Very disciplined so far. Burish and Erdoya haven't missed a single drive. They've hit 1 lob out. I mean, we're only 3 points in, but see, they're committed to playing the right drive at the right time. No.
It's both teams smart shots.
Great, he's holding those balls, Powers. It looks like he might cut it at any moment. He's pushing every single one of them long and through. They're all excellent overheads.
Yeah, because they're so deep, right? I mean, look where he's... I always love to look where the players are setting their paddle on the overhead and how early they set it. So, you know, Mark Powers is hitting most of these overheads here. And, you know, when you say pushing it, he's coming down the back of the ball, but he's got a little bit of spin on it.
Oh, he's got a fair amount.
It's got some bite on it, you know, on those deeper ones, and then it's the same preparation for those short ones where he can really just unleash and put more pace and more spin on it.
I'm not sure
like
what the call is there.
Yeah, I think he pushed it long.
Can't tell.
Yeah, 30-0.
30-0, so he didn't push it long.
Good.
That was called good. Oh, that's just such a big forehand.
30-40.
So good. You see Hughes and Powers calling out the serve there. He tried to get that one towards the wide backhand and didn't get it there at all. And it's a huge first break point here for...
Yeah.
Good deep lob. And then you see Burish setting up beautifully for his backhand. We're going to see how well Hughes and Powers can lob. A couple of great points from the backcourt. Oh, surprise stay back from Erdoya. Erdoya is very effortless out there. He hits a heavy forehand without, that's the first miss, without
Deuce.
Seeming to do it, you know, just smooth. And we should mention in the first couple of rounds we had second deuce sudden death points.
Right.
But here in the semifinals, we're going to be playing it out.
And also we've got 2 wonderful semi-final matches that we've got going. Unfortunately, we can only show 1 match at a time, but you can see the other semi-final, and we do intend to switch over and try to show, you know, both semis.
Dangerous overhead from Hughes. Oh, and Powers misses the attacking shot. Tried to hit the perfect pace behind.
Add out.
Burrish, and second break point here. Tell you, if this is any indication, Jerry, we've seen 1 or 2 missed balls here, and each point is just battle. We're going to go for a few hours here.
Yeah, nobody is rushing. They're all balanced, making smart selections. It's a nice deep lob by Borsch, pulling Hughes out of the service box, and he just counters with placing that overhead deep in the court.
There's a good overhead for Hughes. It's a big one for them. Borsch's forehand's looking good in the early stages too, and then you see him move way around the ball for the backhand.
Game
Great
Victoria
play.
Burris, 1-0.
Yeah, Borsch likes that backhand.
It's a great game there for Borsch Erdoya.
You see, right, so, you know, with Borsch, you can see he kind of slid his paddle, his hand to the end of the grip and scooped that ball up. And all he wanted to do was just flick it up and then get off the court so he wasn't a target.
And
Smart
Powers
play.
was very smart play, and Powers was trying to, you know, hit it just at him with the kind of pace that wouldn't fly off the screen. He just netted it.
Erdoya to serve.
Toya and Burrish very strong at the net also. I mean these are
15.
2 of the top 5 teams of the country. Missed volley though. Great job. Nice spotted drive.
He did, right? He lined up his hip. Everything is so purposeful. Every strike of the ball has a plan.
Well, it should, right?
Well, in this match, it does.
Oh, without a doubt. And Powers especially, he is one of the most precise drivers. He goes from high roller towards your, you know, high shoulder positions, left and right, to left hip, right hip. Oh, that's such a good move from Erdoya, just
15-0.
reading the Burrish drive and sticking the volley. Guys, it looks sharp. There's the soft ball to the Hughes forehand. That'll be the go-to spot. Just going to be careful with that one. I'd like to see him hit the down-the-line lob there. Ball's lower than the net.
(40-15).
That's such a smart lob down the line by Hughes.
That's the ball he's got to hit. Good spot there. Oof, that might have been wide, but Joey didn't want to take the chance on losing the net.
Right, and it's always, if you're not 100% sure, you're always better off to play it. If you can't run it down, at least.
Oh, a couple of backhand misses there off the screen. Good game there from
Game.
Urdoya.
Urdoya
Well done.
Burris. They lead 2-0.
And we haven't seen a single Mark Powers forehand yet.
No. Or a lot of scrambling, right?
15 love.
Good serve there by Hughes. Deep kicking into Urdoya. Catches it a little late. Wow, ripped
15-0.
from Burish.
Let's talk about Burish's setup when Hughes serves to him again. How he stands. You can see Mick sets up his forehand by staying all the way over to the right.
Yep, and you see him stand there all the time near the center hash mark, Burish. And to set up his backhand and bait the opponents to go wide to his backhand side, really, where he can try to cut it off on the attack.
And, you know, like I said, shrinking that area to really only giving Hughes and Powers 3 boards. Otherwise, Urdoya's going to take that forehand, like you said just there.
So strong, so good. There's the first ball we've seen to go to the Powers forehand, and he thumps it, but then he misses kind of what I would have considered to be a relatively easy volley, but got low on him. So good shot. Great game.
Now have a look at Sven Borish here.
That's standing right near the hash mark to set up the volley on the backhand. And it's a great setup. And he's so big. He's got such reach.
Huge serve, kicked right in.
30.
Big. All right, so game point here for Hughes and Powers. Time for them to get on the board. Burish and Urdoya look so comfortable.
Again, there's those lobs that are pulling Hughes and Powers out of the service box, giving them a chance to set up their attack.
Oh, what a get. He's got to spot that overhead a little wider and longer. Wow, good play. Burish showing some good touch, keeping the ball low on his on-pace drives. But that time he didn't, and Powers read it, jumped up, took the ball above the level of that, and he stuffed it at Urdoya. And if Urdoya's got to let it go, but it happened in such a speedy moment, didn't get a chance.
Replay. Oh, of that huge forehand.
Yeah, it's just so big.
All right, now update in the other court, the other men's semi-final. Bostrom, Broderick, and Durant Mitchell are tied at 2-all in the first set.
Yeah, if we do get a moment, we might switch back and forth because that is a terrific match as well. You know, we got Durant, Mitchell, and Bostrom's now. This is 2 matches in a row where he's playing with all national champions on the court, and he's the only one without a national championship. And we were talking about a little bit before, he's got to just believe in that he belongs, and he does. I mean, playing-wise, talent-wise, he certainly does. So be interesting to see what happens there. And Powers and Hughes also a national championship team. Urdoya, great job going to the semifinals and came within a point or 2 last year of making the finals of the national championships. Basically had Broderick and Palmer on the ropes, but could not finish them off, which is so typical of trying to finish off Broderick. No easy task.
Yeah, you called that match.
15-0.
I remember you were exhausted when you came up.
It was an incredible match.
That was a battle.
Oh, there's Erdoya getting handsy and aggressive on that
15-30.
volley.
Playing a little tennis there.
Yeah,
That's
trying to
his
go.
cross-court backhand volley coming out.
That's long, I think.
15-40.
Yes. All right, couple of little blips there from Erdoya. Chance for Hughes and Powers to get back in this. Tie it up at 2-all. Oh, just hammered. These guys doing a great job reading the drives of their opponents.
Reading it and also setting it up.
Yep.
Right? A lot of times it's an intentional hit it fast or hit it short to get the player to, you know, kind of bait them to go for the drive, and then they volley it back behind them quickly.
And Powers going to start getting those lobs up and deep. That's not a ball you want to try to set up for. It's not deep enough. And there's a let court winner from Hughes.
Game.
Well done.
Hughes Powers.
That's all you
2-all.
need.
Well, look, he's got to hit that ball in the midcourt, that you know, that kind of average ball in the middle. He's going to have to hit it. So well done. Kudos to him there. Got to accelerate, keep the contact out in front, compact backswing, and move forward to it. So they're working on knowing where the serve's going to go, trying to deal with that Erdoya return. If you know where the serve's going to go, it helps you think about what the possibilities are on the return. It allows the net player to sort of move themselves a couple of boards one direction or another. That's great overhead there.
Yeah, did a good job of keeping the ball deep in the court, low in the
15 love.
screen. You keep that ball low in the screen, it takes away the choices.
I mean, to be honest, it's the only choice for the net team there is to get
15-all.
that ball up. Nice return from Bush.
30-15.
Ooh. It's a big serve there from Powers. Right at the crease, he's going with those overheads. Starting to get more precise with their overheads here. That's going to get hit.
Just a great counter by Hughes. It's out of the service box. Again, he's just pushing that overhead deep in the court, keeping it low, stopping the attack while he's off the net.
Oh, just a little
30-0.
blip. I think he got a little nervous of the Erdoya blitz. Just had it.
Yeah,
Not
no.
that
30
difficult
all,
a
2
volley
all.
there. Hughes, but Erdoya just made a rush, some extra pressure. Great volley. Hughes and Powers are going to have to volley well. It was
40-30.
Croatian for Ugg. That was a good setup from Bursch. He had the backhand he wanted, just couldn't get over the top of it. Oh!
Deuce.
Fault from Powers. Such a
Add
good
out.
rip.
Yeah.
And then
What
two missed
another
Game.
returns.
huge, yeah, another
for us.
huge
They lead
two-handed
3-2.
backhand off of Bursch.
And we talk about the serve and volley game so often with everybody. You know, great replay here of Get. Nice dig.
Right, and again, that's it. They're scrambling. They've got to flick that ball up. It's just the only smart play there is. You're not in a position to do anything but get it up and then get yourself off the court so that you're not a target.
Good call from Bursch. Keeping his eyes forward, watching the opponent, see if the blitz coming.
So, Brad, we talked about this in the first matchup we called about players having a finishing overhead. You know, that really is a big difference with that top level of player at net.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys, Powers certainly can finish a bunch of them. Oh, that's just so good in the transition. And Erdoya can. Bursch a little bit. Hughes can, but he doesn't own it
You're fast.
yet.
Yeah, just to comment on what just happened there. That was an amazing transition get and a drive where he was able to get Powers to reach and make a reaching error on that volley. Just his court awareness, his athleticism, but more of his court awareness. Adora, it's amazing.
He is a tough cookie out there. Really no weaknesses.
And he seems to, really have his head in the game. Every point.
There's the finishing attempt there from Hughes. A good one, too. Almost had it. Very quick. Great shot. That's a great return from Hughes.
15-30.
I always think you're better off serving Hughes at a mid-pace ball, not one that goes hard off the screen, Jerry, but something that's sort of like medium pace. Make him supply the extra action. He loves it when it's flying off that screen.
Right.
Wow, just so good. Making these guys reach with their volleys.
And smart play again to give up the net. They were not in a position to hold their ground there.
And then, Jerry, you see that purposeful drive there from Hughes, getting it off to the right hip and making Bursch go to the forehand. So a couple of break points here. Oh, so
30-40.
good from Erdoya.
Because he stayed low, he stayed square.
I mean, that's just
Paddle was
incredible.
set.
Incredible put away volley, and then Powers just went in for the cleanup on the volley, and he stuck it behind him from his shoelaces. Oh, that's beautiful combination from Powers, but easily played from Bursch. Erdoya. Another great overhead. And great spot. See, if I'm
Game, Hughes,
Bursch there,
Powers,
you're
3-0.
gonna get either closer in, or you might as well let that that ball go through or go back.
Yeah,
You know?
but Adora's got to move over, right? I think he was too much to the middle.
Oh, he is. He's taking too much
Right,
court. But then if
yeah.
he's doing that, he should go all the way up.
Yeah.
And then they should almost drop into an I formation. That's just a lack of sort of like how they're going to play that situation on the court, Jerry.
I think you've got to just shut down the high percentage 2/3.
Right.
Make Powers have to go to the low percentage third cross court.
15.
So Adora get, oh, because Powers could have just taken it down the line as well and would have got a reach from Adora.
Yep.
But I mean, that's what how good these guys are, how accurate they are. You know, when I talk about 3 boards, I mean 3 boards, because 4th board is going to get you in trouble.
Yep.
And just like at net, you know, they can get the opponent to reach for a volley. We're talking about, you know, 4 inches, moving that drive just that little bit over.
Love 30.
So you got to shut down the high percentage areas that they can hit into.
No answer for the Adoria return right now, and Powers has got to lob that ball. Gonna have to start doing some Australian or stay back, changing their tactics. It's just a lot of firepower coming at him right now.
Yeah, you can feel the emotion. Boris Adoria.
Oh.
What was that, a flipper?
It was a flipper. He hit that from behind him. Now that ball from Adoria, tough shot. I think it's a love 40 shot. Take a chance on it. Oh, smart play from Hughes. He stays back that time. No target for Adoria. I don't know if it affected him or not, but he missed it wide. Get this. This is one of the big moments. God, Adoria is just
move and a well-placed volley,
Game.
and they go up 4-3
Adoria
in
burst,
the
they
first
lead
set, which
4-3.
is exactly the score on our other semi-final match, where Durant Mitchell are up 4-3 in the first set against Broderick and Bostrom. See how he just turned with that ball and kept the ball between the net and himself, and then spotted that drive.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. There's just a lot of offense coming on the return. They finished that point with a great blitz. And Burish as well, his offense has been spot on for the most part. So both teams just basically, either team just has to find a way to hold. You know, that's the whole key. They got a brand new ball here. It's probably a little cold, so they're banging it around, making sure it's playable, trying to warm up the center core of it. Looked to me like it was bouncing pretty well, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, one from the hut. Jackie, can we get one from the hut?
They want a new ball from the hut instead of this cold ball from Lisa Rudloff's pocket. Right, there you go.
Jackie Cameron, now tour director. She's out there also with Ann Waldron, who's bringing us the score updates, and really a big thanks to them.
It was in my pocket. I don't think it's warm enough. It's cold out here. I don't even know.
All right.
All right, they're satisfied with this warm ball. Lobs up. Bursch does a great job calling out possible blitzes. He calls it when they're not coming. He'll say they're coming, or he'll say nobody if nobody's coming. Anytime a high lob goes up, it's possibly blitzed. You'll hear that throughout the match.
And like you had said earlier, Brad, we have seen very few Mark Powers forehands during the point. And that is a function of the placement of the overheads.
Hughes and Powers are going to have to lob a little better. Yeah, there's a short lob, and there's the finishing overhead from Erdoya. All right, tried to force that one.
30 love.
Tried to one-time it early. I don't know if you noticed, Jared, I saw Powers grabbing his shoulder before, too. I'm wondering if there's any kind of tweak or muscle issues going on there. That's a great dipping
30-15.
return from Hughes. Just pushed it long.
Yeah, last year he had that injury with his wrist.
Wrist, yeah.
You know, they had him out for a bit.
That's a good lob from Burrish. All long.
30 all.
Oh, that's that
Oh.
play that Powers likes, that little half volley.
I mean, great volley from Erdoya again. But it was a great move from Powers. His timing is absurdly good on those on-the-rise balls.
So Brad, you know, the difference with playing this high level of playing, you know, back-to-back matches in a 16 draw, you know, like mentally, these guys really have to grind all day long. So it's not just being physically fit, but it's being mentally fit and being able to stay in each point and stay focused.
Absolutely, Jerry. It's no easy task for sure. The good thing about today is there's been, it's run smooth like clockwork. Nobody's been waiting around. Sometimes you have those matches where you're waiting 3 hours for your opponent. Cool down here. Everybody's been on the court similar amounts of times. They're working over. Good play. Got to make sure, as they're working here into the Hughes forehand, he keeps trying to get up that side wire, but he's not lobbing well enough yet to create, you know, to stop them from having an angle.
And by well enough, you mean higher and deeper.
Higher and deeper, right, because they're getting to hit the ball down into the side screen behind him time and time again. Oh, Powers with a huge backhand, and that's why they're not going over there as much. You know, he hits it with the forehand and the backhand, but that's a great shot. Wow, big ball, gets burst to reach. Big break point. There's that big serve from Burrish, and Powers wisely just puts it in play. They've had good opportunities in the middle of the points. That's going to be too far. Yeah, too hard. Or, you know, Erdoya is going to just stick that ball, which he did. Hughes doing a good job of keeping him honest. He's just got to lob a little better. Oh, great ball into the crease. Came at Powers fast. Deuce.
a volley.
It's like, oh.
That was a chest shield volley.
A body blow. Good overhead from Hughes, drawing Urdoya into the corner. Urdoya just couldn't get his feet set around it. Ball was behind him. Break point again.
Yep, and again, Hughes just doing a great job of mentally, building the point and staying in there. He's not feeling like he's being picked on. He's just creating opportunities.
All right, there we go. We're on break. We've had about 5 breaks in a row now, Jerry. Let's see if Hughes and Powers, and it's been tougher for Powers. Last game he served, they're playing a good game, and then he finished it with 2 missed volleys, but yeah, that's a big body blow right there. Big body blow.
Right at his left armpit.
I'd like to see them go to a little Australian right here, change something up a little bit. So Urdoya's return has just been so good. Oh, jinxed him.
15 love.
Always happens, Brad.
Bursch as well. He's been crushing returns. It's a big return, a stretch volley from Urdoya. The last couple times he charged in and attacked that one. And he plays it with a reach. Be huge for Hughes and Powers to get a hold. They haven't had one. Well, nobody's really had one. Quite some time, Jerry.
Yeah.
Good high lob from Urdoya. Sending it up into the air.
You see, Powers can put a lot more spin on the ball here.
He can. I'm curious as to why he has not tried a cut drop yet. I think the first ball that he got there, he's been holding him and pushing him along time and time again. I wonder if he's worried about, Bursch and Urdoya being up close so they'll get him. I'm surprised I haven't seen a cut drop from him yet.
Yeah, he's had a couple of opportunities, but pretty much they're taking, 3-4 steps back before they're hitting their overhead. So he's probably just too far back to try it.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about those. There was only one in this point where he could have hit it. A nice leave there from perfect positioning. Left. Ball just over his paddle. Good job. That's 40 love.
Yeah, smart bail.
Great return from Bursch.
Game Hughes Powers.
Couple of reaches there from Bursch in that game. Now, what do you think here, Jerry? I can't tell. It's such a back and forth affair. I mean, really, Hughes and Powers, this is a great situation to be in. They've always been fighting uphill the whole way, having to kind of get the break back to get it to 4-all. And it's because they've been down 2-0. Then they were down. Then they got to 2-all. Then they were down 3-2, down 4-3, down, and now all of a sudden, tables have turned. So see if they got a little confidence boost here.
Some big returns. I mean, Bursch, Urdoya, they're controlling the speed of play.
To me, I think so as well, for sure.
Yeah. We're not seeing the athleticism, especially if John Hughes. I mean, he just loves to move and climb up the screen and chase stuff down and create, some chaos. But they're not allowing that fastest pace. And that's because of, the placement of their overheads and the speed of their shots.
Oh, what a spotted drive there. He does that so quickly, too, Powers. He's lobbed like the last 10 balls, and then all of a sudden he just pops the backhand right at you.
Right, and that's, because he set his paddle so early, and he holds it. And then when he does drive, he just releases, such a quick release, that if you've even kind of shifted your weight to go back thinking it's going to be a lob, he's going to get you stabbing at the ball.
Takes a fast forehand there, misses that one. Yeah, he holds the ball about as well as anybody. He has a shorter. Oh, he gets Bursch on the out ball. Great job, Bursch. Can't get out of the way. Ball's not, it was going into the side wire, Jerry. But great play to close in. And I don't think he even meant to do that. Hughes actually was probably up there apologizing to Burris because he's literally the nicest guy in the world.
Okay, thanks.
Hughes trying to create a little bit. Got to lob better, though. He's got to get those lobs, get them behind the service line before you start making your moves.
There it
That's
is.
the move.
That's
Great.
the one he loves.
Yeah, but Burris bought on that one, and then he goes wide with the. Oh, it's in.
Caught it. Yeah, he caught the line.
Oh.
Oh.
What a point, Jerry.
I was just going to say that
get
this is
that?
the kind of speed of play and the style of play that Hughes and Powers like to play.
It's right there.
Yep.
That kind of fast,
Wait.
dig, scramble,
What's the
back
score?
and
35?
forward. And Boris and Adora
Let me
have
get it,
just
okay.
shut them down. You know, they've just stopped them from being able to do that. And also, like you said, part of the function is their lobs are not quite high enough and deep enough. But there's
There you
Lisa
go.
Rudloff doing it all. She's going to go find that ball. I hope it's sitting on top.
Snowshoe trek out there from a errant forehand. A couple of forehands that Powers had on his racket there in this game. That was
Just while we're on that, she's coming back. Durant Mitchell are up 5-4 in the first set. And at the end of this set, we're going to switch over and take a look at that match,
All right.
Brad.
terrific.
30-15.
Can't wait to see some of that action.
I'm going to dry the ball off.
Yeah, it's out there in the snow. I mean, the good thing is there's no precipitation, anything on the court. A few hits, it'll get dry pretty quickly.
Just taking a practice serve.
All right, big return here for Powers. 30-15, Urshadoya, nice. They're definitely having Powers take a lot more overheads in this match.
And that's a function of their tactics.
Yep. To watch how deep Hughes and Powers overheads go in, and including actually Bursch and Odoya as well. They're doing a great job keeping your opponents back. And if they're not, then they're putting extra spin on it and working the ball to the corners. Great job from Odoya and Bursch staying disciplined.
Yeah, they really are moving their lobs around. They're picking different spots.
That's dangerous. Oof.
Yeah.
Just back. Great play from all four
30-0.
players, really. You know, that was a good disciplined point from Odoya. They hit it to his back end 12 times in a row. Great spots, as you said, Jerry, before. Only got 2 or 3 boards to play with, and they're putting them right on a dime there.
Yeah, so it's one thing to have a strategy and identify it. It's another thing to have the skill set to be able to execute that strategy. And that's why it's so important that you practice your skill sets. that you drill. You know, you just don't go out there and play. Gotta hit a lot of balls.
And I think actually for Hughes and Powers, that's been the biggest problem for them this season so far. They just haven't.
40-30.
You know, I think they started last week and, you know, starting to hit a few more.
And we might mention they don't live in the same area as opposed to you know, Sven, who are close to each other in New Jersey. So
Deuce.
it's hard for them to get together.
Right, Deuce, great return there from Powers. Beats the Burris poach. I think that serve is long, so it takes a set point here.
Add out.
Oh, come on, Hughes. Nope, can't get there. It's a great play from Burris. Powers couldn't see Burris, and Burris just stood right on the net and stuffed that ball. Powers did not put a hard drive on it. He assumed they would be bailing. Wow, catches him. That was a gutsy play from Burris.
Oh, right in the back.
That's how Jesse James got it, but Burris actually gets an assist with that, bouncing the ball straight down to the Powers forehand for set point number 2.
That hurts in more than one way.
It's your pride. It hurts all these pieces. Wow, great volley right on the line from Burris. Oh, smart overhead.
Yeah, so smart, because he just took the pace right off of that ball and placed it deep.
He also held it long enough so he got a sense of where Hughes was moving. It's a good ball at the crease. Oh, he's speeding it up. That's dangerous. Oh, nice move from Hughes. Goes for the dink and blitz.
Nobody. You hear the call on that deep lob?
There's the forehand. He decelerated on that one.
Deuce.
Didn't commit. Good point, though. Great point.
It's a third. But
that's right.
Regular.
He's thinking about the first 2 rounds where they were playing no ad second deuce, but it's regular scoring from the semifinals on.
That's a great lob.
And that's the way to play that overhead. You know, Boris was unsure, so he let it go and he ran down with it. So he was right back next to it.
Nice. It's a great low forehand. Here comes the blitz and a great move. And I think he almost screened him a little. He got caught up looking at him. That's a great spot. Game point here for Adoya. Both Burris and
That's a very measured match, right? Very calculated, very measured, very specific with their shots.
Oh, a loose miss.
Yeah, that was weird. Kind of went into the side screen with his.
Yeah, it looked like he had it easily and just misplayed it off the side screen. Strange miss. There they go. They're going to go in there. Nice. Ooh. Good spot there from Hughes. Oh, dangerous. He goes back at Powers. So good taking the ball on the rise.
And it's just a different combination of overheads, different spins, different speeds. All trying to negate the big forehand off the deck.
It's a great job. This is what Hughes and Powers on their rise were doing so well back in the day. They would dig out every single ball, and then eventually the other team would try to overplay a point, and they would take advantage right at that moment. So this is great to see. They're just digging and digging, looking for that ball. They can't get it yet. I mean, it's just great play from Burch and Udoya. Oh, what a spot.
God, that is just scary for me. Dora, I just feel like he needs to be one more board over to the right when Powers has got that forehand.
I think he needed to be
Because of
3
that.
boards over.
Well,
You know,
on
three-
that last one, for sure. He's too much in the middle of the box, and Powers is getting him to reach, and he's also screening Borish.
All right,
Just get over, all the way over to the right.
set point number 3. Oh, yeah. Beauty. Powers taking the overheads again. Tactical decision. Oh, big low drive. Oh, and a
Jeez.
missed overhead.
Fabulous lob, though. I mean, he pulled Hughes all the way out of the service box quickly.
Yeah, quick low
And
lob.
he wasn't balanced when he took that overhead. Now the speed, they got to be careful with that speed of play to Hughes.
Yeah, if it start banging it off the back screen,
Yep.
he likes that.
He loves that.
Thank you.
Just working on Hughes, though. Keep him going in there.
Right, Hughes, surprised Hughes is not going over Boris's left shoulder more. Go down the line more. Pull him way back and off.
Oh, what a shot and then burst. I think
And
he's
ouch.
too long. He actually, he hit it because he could reach it.
Yeah.
But he was not in any position. Way to make him reach. Great lob there.
Again, the pace was given to Hughes that he could do that.
Oh, surprised we didn't see a spike there from Hughes.
Is that shot down the line again from Powers?
He's so precise. I agree with you 100% what we were talking about before. If you're going to hit it there, you've got to get all the way over towards the line, and Burch has to make sure he's got that middle covered. Burch and Udoya are so long and athletic that sometimes they rely on that instead of the positioning.
Right. And they have such great hands. But when you've got somebody as accurate and can hit it with pace as Powers, you don't want to give him that straight line drive. Like now.
To see a little better lobbing from Hughes Powers, and then might give him the chance to throw in an occasional blitz move every now and then too. Hughes and Powers just playing, just grinding into waiting for the right ball. That's a good lob. That's a good look.
Oh, sneaky.
Yep. He was off the net, but
little push forehand from Hughes, but Adora handled it beautifully. That's what I think. That's what I think Hughes needs to do more of. Lob more down the line. Get over Borish's left shoulder.
Yeah, I agree fully.
Get him out of the service box. See if Adora's going to come behind him and take it.
Oh!
Beautiful
Game in
shot.
first set.
And
Hughes powers.
there it is,
6-4.
Jerry. That was some set.
Yeah.
And if I'm Borish or Doya, I'm a little peeved because in some senses I thought they had the good control of a lot of the pace there. They had the early lead, but great job from Hughes and Powers. And we saw him get back to the no missing, grinding every point, and then just taking the drives and spotting them.
Waiting for that opportunity. So Brad, just want to take this opportunity and thank one of our sponsors. And I love this. Like back in our playing days, we could have used this with Upswing Health.
You are so right, Jerry.
Yeah, it's a digital sports medicine company that puts an orthopedic specialist at your fingertips. Could have definitely used them back then. Upswing Health has a free AI-powered diagnostic tool. So it's designed by orthopedic surgeons that you can use to identify your injury. So then you can learn how to treat your injury or even prevent another one with their free therapy programs or even speak with a medical professional. And it's all free as a member of the APTA. So you just have, if you've got some soreness after playing or more serious injury, just go to Upswing first. And that's upswinghealth.com/APTA. And we are thrilled to have them as one of our national sponsors. So we're going to switch over now to the other semifinal, and we will get a score update as soon as possible. But you can see that Stephen Mitchell, who is serving down the far end, he's got the blue shirt on, and Johan Durant, his partner. And they're switching, and Drew Broderick is on the deuce side. He's the lefty. And Martin Bostrom.
Is it good? You said 2 minutes, but I did.
So
yep. I think we're good, guys.
I know. We know that.
All right.
Durant Mitchell got the first set.
A new ball. Wait.
Still got Lisa Rudloff's mic on there. She's getting.
Yeah, I'm just going to shoot those guys a text so that they know that.
Can't guarantee it's going to be warm though. Thank you. Yep. All right, so.
It's okay.
Guess I warmed up.
Oh, there we go.
Durant's body shot.
Yeah, I think it's a good play on a certain ball when a player has to respect the drop shot and you think they might cut it. You can slap it hard at the body. It's a very legitimate play. I think a few years back, it was being overused, but it's a very tactical and useful shot on a certain type of ball.
All right, so I'm just trying to track somebody down to get us a score update. And as soon as we do, we can put that up on the screen and we can tell you what's going on.
There you go with hitting a 3/4 drive. I always want to see Bostrom go with his best shots. And the 3/4 drive, sort of like low cat and mouse drive, that's not his number one ball. It does set up possible other drives, but you look at Durant just close in like that.
Oh.
Get an offensive volley. That's a ridiculous shot.
That was a little casual flick, wasn't it?
Casual flick for a winning shot.
Games are
just gonna mosey back here, and maybe it's in, maybe it's not, and then shoo.
Yep. It's a tremendous play from Durant.
15 love. Three one. What? 3-1.
14 games. 6-4.
All right, we're getting the score.
4 and 10 is 14. You want? I thought it was at 9. Do you want another one now? I don't care.
Yeah, so it's every 7. Do you have one?
I do.
All right, little new ball change, and Broderick throwing some nice lefty throw there.
Oh, okay.
If anybody major leagues looking out for slightly older guy, you can pitch it maybe
Are you
70
starting?
miles an hour.
Are you starting over?
What?
Are you starting over? No. Okay. 15 love.
All right, ready to go. New ball. Oh, Durant standing right on the center hash mark. Watch his position move to the center, baiting the opponents to go behind him to his forehand and squeezing the space. So they're forced to hit it to the Mitchell forehand, which
15
he's
all.
got. Missed that one, but that's
I'm
the look
sorry.
they want.
30 love.
Yeah, it's been fun, Jerry, to see the maturation development of Stephen Mitchell from, you know, just a player working his way through to becoming a national champion last year. Johan
Yeah,
Durant.
yeah, it really has been fun watching the progress. It was fun. We did an interview with these guys, you know, during the just after nationals and talking to them, and he was saying how just
30, 15.
when he started
30,
to be able to identify where the safe spot on the court was for each team, he felt like he really, his game stepped up. And as for the teamwork, that, you know, Johan also knew where he was going to go, rather than a lot of times you get that deep lob and you panic and you just hit it anywhere, and then it's a scramble. He said once he was really understood where that ball was supposed to go and where it is, because each team is different, where that safe spot is, it really helped.
And the things that Mitchell does, you know, out on the court, he's got a great forehand, great underhand serve. They actually take the net probably more than any other team when you include them driving it through, plus their ability to serve and volley with the underhand serves.
Oh,
great
that
spot.
Quick
30
off
all.
the deck right to Bostrom's forehand.
And Mitchell's got a great forehand. He's a terrific spot volleyer. Durant, of course, can do everything.
Yeah, and part of that, of him being able to recognize and see the court that way, is then he's able to, you know, be an equal partner and calm Johan down. You know, because Johan can get excited, and kind of kept him on the page of what their strategy was going to be. And that's, you know, that's a good partnership. Know your roles. In the beginning, it was, you know, probably Johan telling him a lot and he absorbing it, and now it's more balanced.
Oh,
40, 30.
good cut from Bostrom. He's got a good cut finisher as well. That's a great ball. He holds it.
Game.
Goes long
Games
and deep
are
at the body of
4-1.
Durant.
Bostrom, Broderick. Durant Mitchell won the first set 6-4.
I think I caught a score in this set here.
I didn't hear what the score is now.
Yeah,
I heard
but,
I got 6-4. Let me see if I can text somebody that's
score
down there.
in the second set.
And there we go. So I think it's Bostrom, Broderick are up 4-1 in the second set, Brad.
Nice. Good job for them. Great cut finisher.
Love
And
15.
Durant goes for the tough dink blitz. Just popped it up. Went for the more offensive version. A little
Love
deep.
30.
A Loose balls.
Love 40.
Wow. Big momentum here, huh, Brad?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just a bunch of kind of misses.
15-40.
Right now. It's not like I'm seeing a point develop on the other side. It's just going for shots that are tougher shots to go for right now for Durant in this stage. And Bostrom and Broderick played Durant and Powers in a pro flight event a couple of weeks ago. And Durant Powers killed him in the first set. And then, you know, they switched sides in the backcourt. And they took away a lot of the cut overheads. And then Powers and Durant started losing points early in the points. And just errors like that, just loose errors.
Just game. Bostrom, Broderick. Games are 5-1.
It's just a mental error there.
Yeah, and it's a few of them actually. So we'll see if they're going to right the ship here, or if they're just going to sort of finish it up and get on to the third.
So where is the safe spot on the court for Durant Mitchell?
Yeah, I mean, you could push the
15
ball
all.
deep to Broderick. He's not going to kill you with the offense, and he doesn't have that quick release or the heavy ball off the backcourt. The problem is he'll push it back 800 times in a row, right? You know.
So he'll hurt you mentally. He's not
right.
going to.
He's going to hurt you mentally. Right.
He's not going to physically hurt you like Bostrom. Right, he's going to mentally hurt you and just wait for that right ball, and he's not going to quit.
And he'll push you up and push you back. He'll put a low lob back quick behind you, then he'll hit like a drive that's not designed to make you miss. It's just designed to bring you back in, you know, and then he'll do it again.
Right.
That's
a heavy cut, yeah.
Right cutter there.
Yeah, you can see, you know, Durant Mitchell will look a little out of it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they might be mailing in this set at this point and say, let's get on to the third.
30-40.
And we'll see if there's, because you can even feel like in the live stream, Jerry, a little bit of like, it doesn't feel like there's any energy out there or urgency to say, come on, let's get back in this set. It's more like, okay, we're having a not so great set. Let's save some energy for the third. If we happen to get back into it, all good.
Is that really a tactic, do you think, that a lot of teams do at this point? Is that something that they talk about it and say, you know what, let's just forget this set? I mean, I never, ever, when I was playing, that would be the last thing that I would be thinking about. I'm going to stay in this. You know, what's the difference if I'm at 1-5 or if I'm at 0-0? I still have to, I don't know.
I certainly think it's not something we're going to talk about, you know, like, hey, we're mailing in the rest of the set, but it's about the expanding. When you've won the first 2 tournaments you've played, maybe you feel like, all right, you know, we had a couple of bad breaks this set. I mean, I don't see them not trying. They're trying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, whatever that energy level is.
I get
talk
it.
about.
No, you can definitely, you can feel it and you can see it. Oh!
That's just good.
And then you get a nick,
Mitchell,
and then
games are
5-2. Right? So maybe that's the spot.
Bostrom, Broderick.
Yep.
Right? It's hard to have a hot hand all the way through the match. You know, you're going to have ebbs and flows. And,
Sure.
and part of the job of the partner is recognizing, you know, when you're when your partner may be a little bit off and you need to do something to get that spark back, or if they've got the hot hand, just focus all your energy into getting them the ball. So 5-2, second set. Durant Mitchell got the first set 6-4. Mitchell, that underhand serve, which, you know, keeps the ball low in the service box. It's really effective, stopping that receiver, you know, from having a higher strike zone.
Do you think the guys who are using it exclusively, Durant, Mitchell, Adam Morgan, I'd be curious to see the stats on it, but I feel like they're getting the, you know, more net than the other teams that are still going to the overhand. They're able to keep the ball low enough. That's a good little shot there from Broderick.
That's a stat that we should have our stat man on.
Yeah.
Graham McNerney.
I'm curious
You
about
should
that.
Reach out to him and see what the stats are on that.
Bostром's backhand is just a thing of beauty. It's so compact. And he's got a good forehand too. He's, in terms of ball striking on both sides of the ball, he's one of the best in the game.
Keeping it away from giving Bostrom anything to be able to attack off the deck. You know, the only look that he's getting is off of the screen.
5-0. $15.30. $15.40.
Well, loose misses, Jerry, and now we're doing a double set point for Bostrom Broderick. And that's just a routine volley that just... This is sort of like the mental wear. We take a little toll in the second set. We'll see what how they react to it if they lose this one here. Nice.
I love that shot.
30-40.
He slides down the back of that, yeah.
Yep, just put it right into the snowboard.
Again, all these guys, you know, their preparation is so early that they can wait.
Now, we just heard Lisa Rudloff's mic on in that second one. Hughes Power's up 3-0 in the second set. So it changes some momentum there. They really, by the end of that first set, had taken all the errors out of their game. Yeah, they just did not miss in the last couple of games. There it is. Game and set for Bostrom and Broderick, 6-2. And, you know, I didn't see, Jerry, one winning shot really from Broderick and Bostrom. Just plugging away, and a bunch of errors there from Durant and Mitchell.
Nog wat nu?
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, you know, to hear what happened in that first set. See where the change was.
Third set you play out. It's not a tiebreaker.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we're back to regular scoring. You heard the scorer asking. The first 2 rounds they were playing second deuce no ad, and then third set was a tie break. But for the semifinals and the finals, they're playing it out.
all right, well, we'll see what kind of Durant and Mitchell come out in this third set here. I mean, you always have to give all the credit to your opponents. You know, Bostrom and Broderick missed very few shots there, but I would say 60 to 70% of the shots that I saw Durant and Mitchell miss, I would call relatively routine balls. You know.
I tell you, I've been enjoying watching Bostrom playing with Broderick.
3.
You can see, you know, he's getting more comfortable, you know, and I'm sure learning to be a lot more patient from Broderick. Setting up his shots. I mean, he's got all the shots, just sometimes, you know, just making the right decision under the pressure moments, and nobody makes the right decision more under pressure than Drew Broderick. I mean, he just mentally just does not give you an inch.
No, that is the #1 characteristic of a Broderick match. He is mentally tough to the end. And, you know, Broderick doesn't lose matches. He has to get beaten, right? And it's a distinction that anyone who's ever played him would know, you know.
It's a level separator.
Right.
Yeah, it's been fun this last couple of tournaments that they've played.
I think Broderick's taking a quick little break. Maybe he's changing his shirt or. Durant and Mitchell look just calmly back there. They're talking about what they got, you know, each other for Christmas, or do you think they're talking about the match?
I think I can see angles, I can see swinging. Yep. I'm pretty sure, Brad, they're talking about the match. I think
it looked like it to me.
The Christmas present conversation will probably be on the car ride on the way home.
There you go.
Yeah, so I guess the next time we'll probably see these guys play will be the Western New England, which we will be live streaming. Our next one, we go out to Cincinnati for the Midwesterns.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting, well, it already is an interesting scene just based on the incredible work by the APTA dealing with the pandemic, but how it's all regional tournaments to start, and then we'll find these people won't see each other until later on in the season. Be very interesting. I mean, until we get out there to the Midwest and Midwesterns, we haven't seen, you know, Tyler Frazier out there on the court yet. We have seen very little, just at Chicago of Brian Compton, Graham McNerney.
Yeah, Graham McNerney had his knee operation, so we wish him a speedy recovery.
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
Drew's bringing snacks for everybody. Oh, very nice.
Nice.
So Hughes and Powers are up 4-love the second set, Brad.
Well, they finished that set. I mean, it still was in the balance right there until they won that set 6-4. But Hughes and Powers really dialed down any mistakes at all as they were going into that. And when they were down, you know, 4-3, they came on, won 3 in a row. Smart play from Bostrom. Does not want to get involved in a hands battle with Durant. That's a great call from Durant. quick close-in volley, forces the lob error.
So that's Drew Broderick serving. And his partner, Martin Bostrom.
15 all.
Durant getting a little extra tricky. He tried to fake the cross court and went with it down the line and found the net instead. It's a good cut overhead from Broderick.
Yeah, he really holds that well. That's a sneaky little slider overhead. I love that shot.
30-15.
Bostrom's paying attention to Durant in that deuce corner, and if he moves over to the center of the court, and Bostrom's got a short ball, he hits that slider overhead into the back straight, not with too much pace. It's a great shot.
30 all.
Terrific play from Mitchell there. Gets the return down, recognizes and moves in. Great blitz. Comes Mitchell again. This time Broderick wisely stays back.
Oh,
40-30.
Casual. That's the sneakiness of Broderick, right? He could see that Mitchell was off the net. And like you said, he's not going to overpower. He's not going to try to hit it through, but he can place it.
Put it down at his feet. Two good things can happen. You get the miss like that, or they might pop it up short, and then his partner can come in, or he can come in and try to clean up the mess. Ooh. Surprising forehand return miss from Durant. It's one of the more automatic ones in the game. Ooh.
Look at where Durant is, straddling the center line on the baseline.
Taking so much court.
Look at the positioning of Broderick. Johan had both those balls. He was straddled that line. He's not going to give you any holes in the high percentage area.
Love Broderick as they were going back, directing Bostrom to hit the lobs. It put it up. It's the kind of ball a player might turn on, but smart, wise play to just keep that ball going.
Oh,
that's a great spot.
Game.
Amazing job.
Broderick, Bostrom.
It's
third
great
set,
because
1-0.
it's the awkward, it's the most awkward volley, right? It's going to go right to his right hip. You can watch Durant right to his right hip. So he actually, again, it's that, you know, you got to move over and be centered to that third when the ad court player's got the ball, so you don't have to reach for that shot.
Oh.
See the switch in the back. What do you prefer, Brad? In the back court, Bostrom on the ad side, or just how they're changing the look? You know, they're changing the look of the court, right?
I just love the fact that they're changing the look. They both have pluses and minuses to them, right? This is a great and a very interesting look. But right now, you know, the interesting thing is
Oh,
you can see
that's too good.
the plan more so for
15 love.
Bostrom and Broderick. You know, they're keeping the tempo a certain way. They're definitely controlling whatever the action is out here. And there's not a ton of action. You know, as you know, it's more like they're going to keep it going till they get that right opportunity for, that's a good ball. Take the hit. And that's, you know, a Broderick bread and butter 101. You bounce that ball down up there. He cuts it off with a attacking overhead.
It's like a spike overhead.
Yep. And
But yeah, I think, you know, there's just no weaknesses. So they have the flexibility to change sides to change the look. So wherever the safe spot is on the court, it changes based on which side of the court they're on. I think it's a great tactic to use. Oh, they both wanted that overhead though.
they did, but
It's whoever calls second the loudest, right, Brad?
that's exactly
That's
it.
how it works. That's who gets it.
But you can see here, though, they're doing a great job making Johan go back to the deuce corner like when he gets too close to the center hash mark. They're not just keeping it away from him. They're working it, and then when they give Mitchell a forehand, he's not getting too many inside the blue. He's having to hit him from back there, and they're just keeping the ball out of the hit zones. And now it's becoming a grind and a mental battle.
Ah!
And it's a
30 love.
perfect.
Look at Bostrom's feet. His toes were pointing in the opposite direction of where the ball was coming from.
So he didn't
And
square
that
up
is-
to the volley, to the
That's
driver.
right. That is why he missed that volley. You gotta have your toes square to the angle of the ball. He was at net. He knew it was coming, but it's just those little things at this level of play.
Yeah, he reacted. He knew the drive was coming. He reacted a hair late.
30-15.
Overhits the overhead, and that's what Broderick wants. He's speeding up a play where now he can hit a shot with advantage. It's a perfect play. You could hear Johan afterwards say, "Don't try that." Another
30
missed
all.
volley. 30 all.
Ah, that's not your balls,
30-40.
Mr. Mitchell.
Well, this is what I'm talking about, Jerry. We're seeing like a lack of kind of like, to me, what got them to win the national championship last year was Mitchell being in perfect position, Johan perfect position. They're kind of reaching for balls here. They're not quite setting up. They're a little off of what they want to try and achieve. Now, you could absolutely credit that to Broderick and, you know, Bostrom having a good game plan and sort of taking certain things out of the match from them and then hitting a spot drive. But they're falling into it right now.
And they were, you know, they were a little flat, you know, mentally at the end of that second set, and they, you know, they really need to dial in here. So you see they're playing Broderick straight, right, and not giving him anything in the screen. As they get that short lob, and there's different combinations of overheads. Yeah, it's just like that 3/4 pace ball.
Yep, he's just, you notice he's kind of going between a push low lob. You don't see any high lobs actually from Bostrom, and you're seeing mostly kind of mid-level low lobs. And there's
And-
another surprising
Get out.
just missed volley there from Mitchell.
Right, Brad. You know, let's talk about that, because we so often say how important it is, you know, to get the person hitting the overhead out of the service box. But they will lob intentionally low, trying to get the opponent to hit a down-up overhead.
Yeah, a little of that. It gives them also less time to set up any kind of cuts. So the ball's not moving downward, because when you're setting up a cut, it gives you more time to set up and let the ball come down, and that's actually a really useful thing. So a low lob, it's sort of, it doesn't travel pushing you back, but it doesn't drop. All right, so it's makes it harder actually for your opponent to sometimes hit cuts on it. And it sort of takes that part of it out. And you definitely, you know, we've seen in the past how Durant can start cutting up a team with the overhead and start moving it around. And we're not seeing that really at all. And there's another great ball from Bostrom.
Game.
But Mitchell's is
games
he's
are
too
2-0
far off the
Friday.
net.
Off the net,
He's
he's
giving
not
him
straddling
that
the
space.
line in position, and he's just not staying forward up in there. I mean, it's a great shot from Bostrom. But they're just going to have to tighten those things up. And it's just, you know, we all know it's just a little error here or there
15 love.
that makes all the difference in the world. All right, great call there from Bostrom. "30 love."
Love.
Oh, they're going to have to capture some energy quick here. Durant and Mitchell. That's great volley from Broderick. So tough at the net.
Oh. You know, Durant just, again, just so fluid. And what would take me 10 steps to scramble there, he just kind of
40-15.
moseyed back and dug that ball out. No, again, it's that's a mental error, Brad. We just
Bostrom lead the third set.
gives
3
Bostrom
love.
Broderick the 3-love lead in the third set. Let's see if we can jump over to the other semifinal for a minute and see where they're at.
So we got still, I mean, last we heard it was it 4 love or 4-1?
5-1. It's 5-1.
5-1 for
5-1
Hughes
Hughes Powers. Yep.
Amazing job from down 4-3 in that first set to taking 8 of the last 9 games. Great lob from Bursch. And it was right about at a moment like this that Bursch and Urdoya made their incredible comeback the last time when they were just down. Oh! Just a great, you saw Urdoya was running back to go get it off the back wall. And Bursch stuck his paddle out, gets the drop off the top of the net winner. But that's the credible placement. You'll see that from Powers. He literally puts that right in between them exactly. And just a terrific hands volley there from Bursch.
All right, we're back to the other semifinal.
Quick glimpse, and we'll see if Durant and Mitchell can get some energy back. It looks like they're just kind of been taken out of the game mentally. The game doesn't have a lot of juice to it, not a lot of transition or back and forth. Osterman, you know, and Broderick completely controlling the tempo of it right now.
Again, it's that speed of play. I mean, we talk about it so much, but this is an example of Broderick, Bostrom have just taken the air out of it.
Well, that's not to say, though, that, I mean, Bostrom, he's whacking the ball when he gets it, but the amount of just overhead errors, volley errors that we're seeing from Mitchell and Durant, you know.
Okay, so what's it going to take with Durant and Mitchell to create the spark? They obviously need to find that spark. Is it Durant, you know, hitting a hard overhead, just creating chaos?
I mean, it could be a little of that. It could
15-30.
be just a paradigm mental shift, Jerry. You know, could be a moment. You know, I guess the word that I would use is they look weary kind of out there. I love the combination, though. It is a nice combination, Broderick and Bostrom, because Broderick's hitting a lot of these push drives low, short, push lobs low, push it back a little. And Bostrom, when he brings the heat.
Yeah. And he can hit off of both sides.
That's why, too.
He has missed a bunch of volleys. He's not happy.
4 left, Bostrom, Broderick.
Not going to be happy with seeing these errors.
Well, anyone who's played sports at a high level knows that, you know, some days all you can do is fight your way through it. You don't always have your A game.
Right. Sometimes it's more gratifying to win with your B game.
And, you know, a lot of these top teams, they do.
15
They don't
left.
always have their A games. It's one of the things that separates the teams.
15 all.
You can see Durant jumping around trying to get energized back there.
Good long, deep overhead from Bostrom.
I love that overhead. Like you said, it's deep in the court, but it really breaks. I mean, there's just no way that you're going to be able to generate any
15.
offense off of that shot.
Yeah, it forces you to move away from it, then the ball breaks back away from you, so you have to chase after it up the wire, and then he hits the nick on the next one. That's just awesome play from Bostrom.
Yeah, he steps into it so well. Like his balance before he starts to swing forward, and then when he takes that swing forward, his weight's going forward with the ball. Hitting those overheads from the ground up, not just out of your hand. Oh, nice touch.
40-15.
Bostrom looks good, Brad.
Oh, he's playing terrifically.
Point for 5 love.
Yep. What's interesting about this match, Jerry, is we came at it,
30.
you know, into that second set. Mitchell and Durant had already won the first set. So, you know, where was that point? You know, since we've come at it, it's been all Bostrom and Broderick. Where was that point where this match started to shift over? We kind of came into it when it was just happening.
Yeah.
You know,
be interesting to hear about what the first set was. You
Yeah.
know, was it you know, on serve? Was it somebody up and caught back? You know, where did that, like you said, where did that shift happen? Break point here.
Starts with 1 point, and there's a huge difference
Game.
between 4-1 and 5 love,
Games
Jerry.
are
You know, that is a
4-1.
massive
Broderick
change
Bostrom.
right there.
You know, and as great as that serve was, it hit hard into the back screen, so now it's moving forward, so it's bringing Mitchell closer as he took that shot.
Oh, there's that drop shot from the moment we were watching the Powers Hughes match before. That was a tremendous play. See if
That
both
match
these
is
teams
still going.
yeah,
Right.
can
You
close
see
it
in
out,
the
'cause
corner. Yeah.
now it's about closing it out, Jerry, and that we know is not always the simplest thing. You know, you press a little to try to close it out. You got to keep doing the things that got you there to begin with. And a lot of players sometimes try to end it too fast, or they go into prevent mode, you know, and just try to not miss, but then they lose their offense. You got to keep taking the right shots at the right. Oh, reach volley
Oh.
again from
Love
Mitchell.
this team.
He's, you know, one of the things that make them a great team is spot volleying, not reach volleying, right? He never misses that. And he rarely reaches for it either. But
Right. That's just yeah. You know, it's not what you can reach because you can basically these guys can cover the whole court by themselves.
sure.
It's just Johan's there in the middle of the court taking the same shot without having to move. Sometimes, you know, you try to get yourself back into the match and you just want to hit to get that feeling, get that adrenaline going again.
Another reach volley, though. It'd be one thing to me, actually, Jerry, if you were like moving behind it and looking to get his body behind it, but he just reached in a little.
Oh, there's a heavy backhand off the deck. Again, it's those 3 boards. It's just, you miss those 3 boards, you know, putting it straight to Broderick. And there's Bostrom. Boom.
It's only the second point.
Yeah, Bostrom, there are very few balls that Bostrom cannot actually hit. The key is to get him to hit those ones where his percentages just go down, and he sometimes will. He can hit it from almost anywhere that's within a step.
Off of both sides. Looks like they've lost
Yep.
the score. Yeah, I can hit it off of both sides. When he's balanced, oh my God, he's dangerous.
Is it love 30? I thought it was love 30, but
Yeah,
not sure.
I'm not moving until I figure it out. Yeah, no. That's 530 in my opinion, 100%, but I'm not the screen. I just don't know.
I've seen Mitchell miss the 2 volleys. I'm trying to figure out where Durant and Mitchell have won a point in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're going to go with that.
But I like Durant, what he said. He was staying on that side until he knew what the score was. And he wasn't moving until he was comfortable with what it was.
They could be tracking it up there. They're recording it. Can we get the score? 3-4-3?
And now hopefully the scorekeeper has it, but I guess there's some confusion even with the scorekeepers. So. The only points I remember, Jerry, are the 2 missed volleys. We had one where we were talking about the reach.
Yep.
And then this point here where we got another missed volley.
Yep, here we go. 30 love. Oh, love 30, sorry. Oh, we're doing it to each other.
Love 40.
Yay.
Well, you know, it's a little bit when it rains, it pours, right? It's just pouring right now.
I mean, talk
It's
about
pouring.
guest appearance.
I kind of, you know, at this point, that's a good shot. He closed in. Bostrom stretch a little now. That's when Bostrom won't hit it. If you can make Bostrom stretch, he'll hit anything that is within a step where he's not. Got to take an extra stride. That's a great overhead.
Yeah, if he's balanced.
Just good spot. You know, maybe Mitchell and Durant could use like just even a little like. They got to decide mentally to just not miss because Bostrom and Broderick are not missing and they're not giving them any cut overheads. You know, maybe they should try a few different moves of going to an I formation or, you know, speeding the play up with some hard overheads here and there.
15,
I
40.
think, yeah, I think the second one, That you, what I
Speeding
would
it up,
try
speeding
first.
up the
I would
play with
speed it
for
up.
smart
Just
overs.
be
Yeah,
up,
just move in
get-
there, be athletic,
because
get it fast.
Yeah, because it looks
move
like
in.
Durant wants to move, right? He's the one who's showing the energy. He's the one that's jumping up and down. And just set him up. Just have him create, hit some harder shots, change the speed. Just get the energy going again.
And maybe you could even get into a few transition battles,
Right.
you know, with these guys. And, you know, because right now Bostrom also and Broderick, they're so disciplined. They're playing so well and disciplined. You got to maybe just change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
There's
30,
a couple of
40.
misses there from Bostrom. Here we go. If they can actually get this game back from love 40 down.
And
That's a
from love 4 down.
Yeah, that's a
Like you
huge,
said, big
huge
difference
turnaround.
mentally. Yep.
Yeah, they were points away from 5 love, right?
Yep. Yep.
And now if they can get this to 4-2. And it's just been there. And Martin just blip 3 missed drives in a row. You can't say any of these are great shots from Durant Mitchell. It's just a little ebb and flow, right? Got to close the match. Back to deuce. But if I am Bostrom too, I'd be hitting every ball at Mitchell right now just to see, because he's primarily been the one missing those volleys, right?
Right.
Just to see where his head's at. And that was a miscommunication. Now game point here for Durant Mitchell.
It's a little snowboard action shot there, and it's long. Yep, there it is.
There's
there
a 4.4 drive errors from Bostrom.
4-2.
We'll see if that weighs on
Bostrom,
him, because we
Broderick
all
are
know, we've
leading.
all been there. Errors can start to snowball when you make 1 or 2, and then you might drive to, you know, try to change the drive or dial it back, but we'll see where it goes from here. Well, no loss of a trigger on that one. Great shot.
Yeah, it's so important to identify that winning
15
pace
love.
and that, you know, ideal performance state that you have inside, and not go up and down on a roller coaster ride mentally. What a
That
huge
was wide.
serve.
Was it
Oh,
good?
it was?
Yeah, he's calling it wide. Yeah, it looked wide to me,
15
but
all.
15 all. It's a great poach from Broderick. Such a great compact volleyer, gets his body behind it. Very textbook. Nice.
30-15.
It looks like the other semi-final has finished. Nice return from Mitchell. Oh!
40-15.
He's trying to get some movement going, but maybe a little too much. He dove for the first one, and then he dove for the second.
He hit a fabulous return of serve.
He did indeed.
But like, that's the balance. That's the trick of platform tennis, right, Brad? You know, it's just getting that balance. You know, trying to get that
40-30.
spark, but not do too much. You've got to, you know, you got to constantly keep yourself in check.
Oh, great playing from Broderick, just cutting off the returns. Durant Mitchell.
Oh, they're hesitating,
Game.
and you know, their
Game for
whole
5-2,
flow.
Bostrom Broderick.
Has, since we've dialed in, right? Their whole flow has been off, Brad.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, I mean, it's a strange couple errors. There's the dive one way and the dive the other way. And I'm not sure if he thought that he had to get it because Durant wasn't there, but I can't imagine that was the thought process. I think it was just a split-second decision. All right, well, 5-2. It was a strange break getting it to 4-2, and then a strange break back. A couple of 2 balls just dying in the middle. Yeah, definitely a little flow change. Nice move there from Mitchell, closing in, keeping the paddle in front of him. They can just stay in good position and play the solid way they normally do. Can still write this thing. They're going to have to mentally grind it out, though, because not easy thing to do. Broderick is always in the moment.
15, love.
Yo!
Oh, all right.
15 all.
You know, great shot.
There's the switch in the backcourt.
That's a
There
good
we
time for
go.
that. That's a great
That's-
time for it. No, Jerry, I
Yeah.
think it's a
Yeah.
great play. Not only does it kind of give you a little energy,
25.
it's actually the right play for the right time. It's a good ball for it. Oh. Terrific volley there from Mitchell. Well, either way, Jerry, whoever comes out on top, we got a terrific final coming up at 4:30, which I doubt will reach. Probably,
Yes,
probably
might
make
be
it more like
4:30.
5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep.
Although
Yeah,
Powers
so
and
it's-
Hughes are off the court
Game.
over there, so
I'm sure
they have to
they're.
have one there.
Yep. Yeah, they've been off for a bit now.
Games are 5-3, Bostrom, Broderick. Third
All right,
set.
here we go. Got to close it out against big returns of Grant Mitchell. That is a
115.
big return and a fist pump.
There was
From
some
Durant.
passion there. There's some,
I love
there's
it.
some energy coming.
It's coming back. Slowly but surely. Oh,
Oh, Mitchell
great.
too.
Great volley from
Oh,
130.
Ostrom, though, and two dipper balls at Broderick's feet. Both of them right in the tape. So close.
love 30. Call by Broderick.
Love 40.
That's a design play, looking for the poach, but that return is so heavy. Now all of a sudden we see a little passion switch. You got to close it off. We'll see what happens here.
You see Mitchell moving his feet. He's energized now and good swing.
Hold on. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, he
15-40.
drilled it.
Yep.
I don't mind it. They're getting some energy flowing a little. Interesting. Didn't think he had the offensive volley, so he went with the lob volley.
Yep. Nice hold by Durant.
Oh!
And there's the break.
Game
That's
Grant Mitchell.
great play.
Bostrom,
It's surprising miss from Broderick
lead the
there.
third
He
set,
was right there.
5-4.
Didn't keep his head down through the shot. Missed it off the edge. I think this is where he's teeing
This
it
is
up.
it. Yep. Oh! we need that shot for the highlight reel. That.
Right off the left hip. Boom.
All right, so they've clawed their way back. They were down 4-love.
Yeah, and
their way back.
almost down 5-love, Jerry. And
Yep,
like we said, there's a big difference between 4-1 and 5-love, a huge difference. You know, so now let's see if they can claw their one more game back to make it 5-all. And it, you know, interesting the ebb and flow.
Well, let's just see who stays home and takes the volleys that are theirs.
Right, and stays in position, so they're playing the right shots. You know, it was a strange bit of misses, actually. You know, Bostrom and Broderick played great, but just a variety of misses coming off from Durant and Mitchell at that time. They can
Yeah.
dry those up, and Bostrom and Broderick have to win the points. You know, that's going to be a little trickier.
Yep, close the holes, close the high percentage holes.
That's going to get hit. That's
Make them
good
think.
leave. Good leave, though, from Mitchell. He knows he can't get in position. Bostrom overhit that a little bit. That's the trickiest thing is the driver. If you hit it too soft, the guy cuts it off. If you go too hard, it comes off the screen. That was a Johan, me.
Yeah, they really can't afford any miscommunication now.
You can see the energy increase, though. They're closing in on the Broderick off-pace drives, not letting him get it at their feet. Nice, quick lob up.
Ball goes to Broderick. Johan is moving to the right. Ah, that was long. Yep.
Love 15.
All right, big point there.
Yeah, he found Johan's forehand volley.
What's the score here?
It's love 15.
Playing or we doing on playing? I don't know. It's not my their point. Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty sure they called it out, right, Brad?
I'm not sure what the argument was about, to be honest. Maybe there was some. Oh, because I think it was a question call, maybe from Durant and Mitchell, and Johan was just asking, "Are we playing it over?" Or, and then Mitchell just stepped in their point. So he just wasn't. I think he was just clarifying.
Yeah, but unfortunately with COVID, we are unable to have umpires up in the chair, so the players are, calling their own lines. And we're grateful to have the scorekeepers outside of the courts, keeping track. Otherwise, it's a tough job, commentating remotely without having these wonderful volunteers. That's Maureen Konachia is doing this match, and Lisa Rudloff did the other semifinal match.
That's a good spot lob from Bostrom. They're really playing some nice tight points here. This is terrific.
Oh,
sneaky.
Head fake, Brad.
Beautifully done. And I like what he did before when he hit that hard overhead. That's the ball. Now you don't know if he's going hard, soft, going side, and he held it. He could have hammered it at him. He could have done anything.
Huge return from Bostrom there. Yeah. And you saw Bostrom start to move, too.
Run up the side.
Right?
Yeah, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good ball.
Oh!
Broderick can really start to spot that backhand when he wants to. He pulls it out from time to time, and it's not a thumper, but it is spotted.
Oh, my God. A big celebration there by Mitchell with the fist pump. They've got the adrenaline back.
I mean, definitely the energy's back because now they got some life, right?
Serving to tie this match at 5-0.
Here's the point for it. So 40-30, 5-4. Broderick and Bostrom. Now to me, Jerry, oh, that's just a great drop.
I'm waiting, Brad.
I know. I'm just got absorbed in this point here now. To me, the big moment was that 4-drive game where Bostrom missed those 4 drive. It sort of gave the life right back to, to Durant and Mitchell.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Ooh.
So they're working that play into Broderick's corner, but keeping their eye on Bostrom. And that's that shot. Durant loves to hit that little slider in there.
He flips it over there. He's actually aiming towards the crease. Oh, be careful, Mitchell.
Yep, we both leaned forward there, Brad.
Yep. He stayed off it. Oof. Oh, and a great drive off the top of the nets. How about that?
Oh,
now we're at match point for Broderick and Bostrom.
Wonderful return of serve.
Ooh, great lob from Broderick.
Yeah, because he brought Johan behind Mitchell. Good movement.
Bostrom. Looking for that ball. They're going all at Broderick here. Just sliding the ball behind Bostrom when they can. Yeah, you don't like that reach, do you, Jerry?
No, I'm holding my breath.
Gives you gets your nerves going.
Especially what's happened on the previous ones. That's better. Stay home. Johan's there.
Right. And Broderick's content to push it down the line for the most part.
Seriously,
constantly.
he is like a dripping tap in a good way. I mean, he is just not going to go away. He's going to work that tactic.
I love how they're speeding this point the right way. This is a great point.
Broderick is just hitting those.
Oh, there it is.
Shots.
Match. Scores were 6-4
Wow.
to Mitchell in the first set, 6-2 in the second set, 6-4 in the third set.
Interesting study in momentum,
yeah.
right? And back and forth. And for me, you know, love seeing Bostrom and Broderick out there. It's going to be a great final, you know, that we'll have probably, I would guess, probably around 5 o'clock. But it's Bostrom, one of the biggest things in many of his matches that I have seen is that moment where the last time they played Durant and Mitchell, it was sort of like 3-all when he was playing with Blake Anderson at the time, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that match, he had a game where it was all even, and then it was 3 missed drives, and then they proceeded to lose like 6-3, 6-1. There's always this spot where a few drives or a few errors creep right in, and if he just clean those few up, you know, the sky's the limit for a player with Bostrom's talent.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think he is absorbing everything about that Broderick does so well. You know, and that he doesn't have those really big highs and lows mentally. He just maintains, and like we saw, you know, at the end there, he just chipping away, you know, lobbing over Mitchell and looking for that opening. And it'll be interesting to see if we can get a conversation with these guys later on to see what happened in the first set. You know, to see how that first set went from what we saw. But, you know, again, look at Durant Mitchell coming back from being down 4-love and then, you know, clawing their way back in. It was quite the roller coaster ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So we look forward to a terrific final between Powers and Hughes and Broderick and Bostrom. So
yeah, so we'll push, you know, normally the players are allowed to take an hour break between the matches, the semifinal and the final. I'm not sure if they're going to take that long, but what we will do is we'll post it online. So, you know, click back, you know, just watch, and we'll have, as soon as we can speak to the players and find out what time the match is going to start, we'll put it up and we'll do the usual countdown. So, Brad, Thanks for doing the match. That was fun. Actually, a couple of matches. We got some bonus coverage in there.
We got some terrific coverage in there. It was really great to see Hughes and Powers get back to some of their original form that carried them to their 2018 national championship, and they started their run right here. So no better place to do it for them. And it's great to see the new team of Bostrom of Redwood continue to evolve. So they're big final round match here. So
coming up, and again with the holiday cheer. We love the outfit.
That's
always
it.
fun to call the match with you.
Jerry, it was a pleasure, and we'll see you guys for the finals, and we'll put up a, I guess, a posting on as to what time it's going to be.
Yep, as soon as we find out. All right, we'll be back with the men's final.